Here's my thoughts on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade Wrath of the Mutants on Nintendo Switch. It's the latest edition in the Ninja Turtles line of beat-em-ups, and I picked up the physical edition on Nintendo Switch. Quick note for anyone who's sensitive to flashing lights, might want to read that. And there's really only one game mode. You can play it single player, you can play it multiplayer. That's what you get to choose from. Select your difficulty, and then you got a stage select. There's a couple to choose from. Your character options are limited to the original 4 Turtles, and that worked for Turtles in Time, which was a fantastic game. I liked that Shredder's Revenge gave us a couple more to choose from, though. And this game doesn't really waste much time giving you plot development or anything. It just kind of drops you straight into the action pretty quick. It says, here's a bunch of Foot Clan members, you know what to do. And yes, after a couple of decades of doing this, I know what to do. The formula is very familiar. Clear the screen, move to the right. Clear the screen, move to the right. Clear the screen, get to a mini-boss. Clear the screen, move to the right, and eventually come to a boss. You've got your attack button, you've got your jump kick, you've got your jump attack. There's also a desperation move that eats up a small amount of health, and then you've got your turtle power, and I think the turtle power is kind of the new thing here. Each turtle has this really souped up attack that more or less clears the entire screen, and does so in a flashy sort of way that's representative of each of the personalities of the turtle themselves. Raph attacks the ground and creates an earthquake, knocking everybody down. Leo spins around, making a tornado of sorts that pulls all the enemies in and sends them flying. Mikey throws pizza because, why not? And Donatello does Donatello stuff. I think he shoots lightning bolts or something. I played this on single player, easy mode, and I was expecting an easy experience. It really wasn't. I spent a lot of time getting whacked by enemies and clobbered by missiles and stuff. The attack animations are rather slow and they can't be canceled, so many times I would go to strike an enemy and I get interrupted by another one. And I'd try it again and get interrupted, and try it again and get interrupted again. You might be thinking, he's a noob, he doesn't know how to play. I've been gaming for 30 years. I mean, some of my early memories, I had a game controller in my hand. So this is not a new thing to me. I've been around the block a couple of times, and this didn't feel right to get interrupted so much. And unfortunately, that kind of seemed like a theme here. Wasting time. There was animations that I had to sit and wait through for things like the turtle power. There was loading screens. The loading screens took forever. I couldn't figure out why it was taking so long. There's unskippable boss animations when the bosses come in. And I got knocked down by enemies a lot. There was a lot of time where I just kind of wanted to play and couldn't. For me, it's very important that a game respects my time. I'm here to play, let me play. Try to shorten loading screens. Do everything you can to keep from taking away my control. This game felt like below average in that respect. I did like that they kept some of the old grapple attacks, throwing the enemies at the screen and slamming them on either side of you back and forth. I mean, that was kind of cool, but not really any innovation there, just familiar stuff. There's familiar sort of power-ups too that are going to give you back all your health, or they're going to turn you into a spinning turtle of doom that just clobbers everything that it touches. One nice addition to this game is that there are helpers you can pick up from time to time, sort of a scripted moment where another character jumps into the screen and clears everything out. Leatherhead comes in and rolls around and clobbers everybody, or Metalhead comes out and shoots a bunch of missiles and knocks everyone out. You can't choose when to use these, it's there, you can either use it or not. And I kind of was bothered by how long the animations went on. I wanted something that would go a little quicker. And that goes the same for the turtle powers too. The whole flow of the game completely stops while you just watch an animation of someone else fighting for you. I like the way that Shredder's Revenge handled that, because when you used your powers in that game, everything kept going. There was no stop to the action. Everybody else was still playing, you were still fighting. And that kept the flow of the game feeling much better with fewer interruptions. I found myself not really wanting to pick up the power-ups just because I didn't want to watch the animations anymore. And there's a bunch of random objects strewn all over the place that you can pick up and throw at the enemies. They all kind of operate about the same. You're going to pick up trash cans and throw them, and they feel like picking up rocks. I kind of get the feeling that a bunch of the objects were reskinned for each level, and probably the enemies too, because a bunch of them felt somewhat samey. I can't say I noticed a big difference in playstyle between the turtles either. They all sort of worked the same, and it was mostly a difference of which sound bites from which character I wanted to hear the whole time I was hitting foot and getting hit by the foot. And really those sound bites wore out pretty quickly too. You can only hear so much shouting and so many yells before you're just kind of ready to turn the sound down. I really like when a beat 'em up will find interesting ways to bring characters onto the screen for you to fight, rather than just teleport them in or walk them off the side of the screen until it decides that there's none more left to walk in. So this game did some of that, but most of the enemies really do just teleport in. For me, highlights are going to be when a truck pulls onto the screen and a couple of guys jump out of it, or when they break a window and come jumping out of it at you, or something like that that's more interesting than just sort of, poof, here's an enemy. Each stage looked very unique. It had a lot of character packed into it. You could tell there was a lot of work put into the art style, into the stage designs. The colors are vibrant. There's stuff glowing all over the place everywhere. There's lots of background details that do make it interesting. There really wasn't a whole lot of new ground to tread in the actual stages. It's kind of all been done before, but they did it well enough here I can't complain. And the characters, enemies and bosses, they're animated so well. It's fun to watch them move. They've got a fluidity and they've got a style that's really enjoyable. I mean, yeah, I kind of tend towards the older style. Turtles for me is always going to be a little bit more low resolution, but I can welcome what they've done with this and enjoy it. So I mean, after all these sort of mixed opinions, it kind of comes down to, did I enjoy it? Was it fun? And that's where it gets complicated, actually. That's where things changed. Right around that time, I was trying to decide whether I actually was having fun with this game. My 3 kids jumped on, fought over which turtle they got to be, and began promptly attacking the Foot Clan with me, and the game turned from meh to all of a sudden a whole lot more fun. I realized that this is not intended to be a single-player experience, and that was probably why I wasn't really feeling it. Suddenly, I wasn't mobbed by enemies interrupting my attacks the whole time. Instead, my kids and I were the ones that were interrupting all the attacks, or the enemies. The action went from stilted and kind of frustrating to frantic and fun. We cleared the screens a lot faster, and, well, yeah, there wasn't enough pizzas to go around, so a little bit of contention over who got which pizza. Still, it was a lot more fun this way. But I asked my kids what they thought of the game, and they all thought it was really awesome because we were playing all together. The first couple hours I spent on this game had me pretty much feeling it was below average in the genre and just going to stay there. But my opinion really did improve a lot when I played with my kids. So I'm moving it up to average. So do I recommend this game? Well, that depends. If you're planning on playing single player, I don't know if I can recommend this unless you're really already a fan of this version of the Ninja Turtles. And so you just really want to play this instead of the other ones. You know, maybe this is for you. However, I would strongly recommend anybody who's going to play this game, play it as multiplayer. There's no online co-op, so it's got to be couch co-op. You got to have people in the same room, and it is way more fun to play it as couch co-op than single player. It's a short game, and you have to know that going in. There's not going to be, 100 hours worth of content for you. You're going to play it for a little while, and you're going to beat it, and you may or may not decide that there's enough replay value to keep on going. It's something that's enjoyable under the right circumstances. And if you have those circumstances, enough people to play with, you might have a good time. There's certainly better games in the genre, but you could easily do a lot worse too. But as for me, my kids enjoyed playing this as a 4-player co-op enough that I could see us picking it up every so often. I'll put a link in the description in case you're interested in getting a copy for yourself. Sub up so you don't miss my future game reviews. Thanks for watching.
That the best you can do, Baxter?